Karibu SolidWorks Tanzania. Huu ni mwendelezo wa lessons za AutoCAD, na kama unakumbuka tumeshajifunza AutoCAD 2D drawings completely. So tulijifunza how to use drawing commands, tukamaliza tukajia how to use modifying commands, tukajifunza how to do annotation, dimensioning and texting, lakini pia tulimalizia na isometric drawings, right? On how to draw a 3D object in a 2D space. Okay? So today now we're going to go into AutoCAD three-dimensional drawings. So as you know, three-dimensional drawing inaonyesha all the sides of a feature or an object. Ukiangalia kwenye isometric drawing ambayo tulifanya, tulikuwa tunaweza tu kuchora front view, end view na top view, right? Lakini for now tunavyoenda kujifunza kuhusu 3D drawings, tutaona all sides of an object: top view, bottom view, front view, back view, left view, right view, right? Okay. So yeah, so we are going to change this window now to go into 3D drawing. So how do we go about it? So this lesson we are going to do an overview of a 3D drawing. Mind you, this color here of 2D drawing, if we draw a 2D feature with this color, hata tuki-convert into 3D, itakuwa still with the color of the drawing lines, right? So kama ikiwa white, ukichora na lines ambazo ni white, ukitengeneza 3D object from those white lines, utapata a white 3D object. So I hope you have understood that. So you can change it here before you change the window. Now how do we do that? So tunashuka hapa chini kwenye setting, okay? Alafu tunaenda kwenye this arrow, okay? Una click hapa, unashuka hapa, una select 3D modeling. So initially tulikuwa kwenye drafting and annotation, and we are done with that. Now we are going to 3D modeling. So click 3D modeling and then your window will change like this. So you see the top bar here has changed completely. So we still have our drawing command somewhere here and our modifying command somewhere here, all right? But we have extra commands on solid editing, meshing, modeling, etc. Right? Let me close this. Okay. So, first, kitu cha msingi cha kwanza, ukiangalia hii coordinate hapa, geometry, iko kwenye XY, right? Na kama unakumbuka kwenye 2D drawing tulisema tunaweza draw from any XY plane. Inaweza kwa top view, inaweza kwa front view, inaweza kwa bottom view, provided that we are drawing a 2D drawing. Si ndio? Lakini now as we are shifting to 3D, we have to consider which side are we starting to draw our feature. So let's say una boxi, si ndio? Ilo boxi lako unaweza ukaligawa kwamba hii ni top view, hii ni front view, hii ni right view, hii ni left view, hii ni back view, hii ni bottom view. So when you are drawing, unaamua kuchora from a certain side, you have to select that side. So ukiangalia hapa, kiklik hapa, kiselect hapa, utaona kuna other model views. Right? So kuna top view, kuna bottom, kuna left, etc, etc. Right? So unaweza ukaamua uanze kuchora let's say kwenye top ama kwenye bottom ama kwenye left ama kwenye right ama kwenye front. It's all up to you, right? So hii ita determine the appearance of your object, right? And then after you have your sketch, now you can put it in some view like isometric views. Inaweza kuwa southwest, southeast, northeast, northwest. They are all okay, but zote hizo ni isometric. Okay? So, and then hapa mbele yake kuna views, like visual style, kwamba hiyo object ambayo umeichora unataka ionekane kwenye which kind of a visual impression, right? Do you want it to be a solid? Do you want it to be conceptual, hidden, realistic? So we will see all of this after we have a 3D feature, right? So, so this is an XY space, right? So tutakuja kuona baadaye kwa mifano namna ya kuamua labda nataka nichore from top, from bottom, blah blah blah. So let me convert this XY coordinate into XYZ. So I have to put it in isometric. Inaweza kuwa southwest, southeast, yoyote ile. So let me select here southwest isometric. So you see my drawing ground has changed and even my cursor has changed into red, green, and like a blue line, right? Red and green, red for X. If you see this cursor, I'm talking about this one that's moving. Red line is for X, which represents this one, X, right? Green line is for Y plane, so Y. And the blue line is for Z, this one, Z. So you see now I have XYZ plane. Previously, in a two-dimensional drawing, we had XY plane only, right? But now we have XYZ, okay? Now, now, if I start to sketch in this ground, right? Hii inaonekana hapa ni kama flow. So kwenye hii flow ndo unaweza ukachora let's say bottom view of your object. Kwenye hii flow unaweza ukachora bottom view of your object, right? So before we go so far, AutoCAD ina some features ambazo ni already 3D modeled. Hizi hapa kwenye modeling, right? Lakini what happens here is, so from this object here of box, right? Kwenye hii arrow utapata a number of options of things that you can create randomly ama rapidly with AutoCAD. Kwa mfano, tuseme tunataka kuchora box ambayo ni cube ya 50 by 50 by 50, kwamba length 50, width 50, height 50, a 3D box, right? Instead of drawing it manually, as I will show you later on, you can just create it with this box command here rapidly. So ukiweka cursor hapo inakwambia the base of the box is always drawn parallel to the XY plane. All right, so it's always drawing on a parallel to the XY plane. So the base is drawing on XY plane always when you draw this box. So length and width will be the XY, and then height, right? So the height of the box is specified in the z-axis direction, as it says on the description. So you can either enter both positive and negative values of height, right? Kwamba unaweza kuupa height kwenda up ama weight kwenda down. Ukipa weight kwenda down, that means what the feature you drawn as the base will be the top, and then you'll have bottom, lower side. Ama unaweza ukaichora to the kwenda up on the height, alafu hiyo up inakuwa top view, right? So click on the box and you select with your left selection button on your mouse. Click that. Ukiklik tu utaona hapa kwenye command bar inakwambia box specify first corner. Specify first corner or center. So unaweza ukachora box from a center outward ama unaweza ukachora from a corner to a corner, right? So let's draw a corner to a corner. So let's say this is the first, I click the first point, right? So you see, I can put it this direction or that direction or that direction or this direction. So you can move your cursor all over as you see fit, right? But then it says specify right here. It says specify other corner. So you can click the other corner without dimensioning it, or you can say C for cube. So you can create a cube which is an equal dimension box. And let's say it has 50 by 50 by 50 millimeters. But let's go with the other thing of giving it length and width and height. So you can click here length. I'm going to type L for length, the blue lighted one, L, enter. So it says here specify length. So let me enter length 50, which is 50, enter. And it says here specify width, right? Specify width. So you can point it to this direction or that direction, whichever direction you want, right? So width, let me say 50 again, kwa sababu I want a cube of 50 by 50. So 50 again, enter. All right. So you see, now it tells me specify height, right? So you see the height can either be upward or downward, right? The height can either be upward or downward. So if I enter a negative value, kwa mfano nikisema negative 50 itaenda downward by 50. Nikisema positive 50 itaenda upward by 50. So let's say minus 50. So minus, where's minus? Where's minus? Negative 50. Specify. Oh, sorry. Control Z. Let me repeat that. So box, first point here, length. I select length here and I say length is 50. You can put negative minus 50, minus 50. Enter. Umeona imeenda to the other direction, negative direction. This is positive width, this is negative width. So nikiingiza minus 50 again, 50, enter, imeenda kwenye other direction. And then I can enter here minus 50 again, enter, right? Like that. So you have your box like that, right? So you can zoom to extent like that. Yeah. Ama unaweza ukachora tu kama cube. So select here, say box. Let's say first corner here, then C for cube. Click this for cube. Enter value. Let's say this is 60. 60, enter. So it gives me a cube of 60 by 60 by 60, right? Yeah. So what you're seeing here, the visual style that you are seeing here of these two components is called two-dimensional wireframe. So custom visual style. So for now, you're seeing a two-dimensional wireframe visual style. Now, acha tubadilishe into another visual style so you see how they differ in the visual impression. So select conceptual. Now you see your visual styles has changed the display. This is conceptual visual style, right? Conceptual visual style of our cube boxes, right? And I can change it again here. Let's say hidden. So you see, this is a hidden feature visual style. Then let's say realistic. This is a more realistic feature visual style. Shaded. You see the corners are more visible in a shaded view, right? Shaded with edges. You see even the edges are more visible and shaded with edges. So you can put it in any so shaded of gray, a gray feature like that. Wireframe, this is the wireframe again. X-ray, this is the X-ray view, inakuwa ni kama transparent view. So mostly mara nyingi tunavyochora na AutoCAD 3D feature tunatumiaga shaded with edges. Mara nyingi, it's more visible. What if you want to change these colors? You can just select this body, right click, again go to properties as usual, and just change it from here. You can say this is yellow, and then close, escape. You see? Very simple, right? So you can say Control P and you can preview it if it's printed on a piece of paper. Let's say preview, and here you have them. See, shaded with edges preview, right? So we can say here, let's say realistic like that, and say Control P and say PDF creator here. Let's say preview. See, this is a more realistic preview, right? Okay, so for the sake of these drawings, just leave on a shaded with edges like this. Yes. Yeah. So let me delete this, select this and click. Unaweza click erase. Yeah, and you erase it. The commands still do the same. The modify commands still do the same. Move, copy, what. They still do almost the same. Now, ukija hapa kwenye hizi view sasa, what if I want to see the top view kwa sababu hii cube ni cube ambayo ina equal sides, right? So hata ukibadilisha views hauwezi kuona tofauti sana, so we'll see views on another feature, right? Kwa sababu hii ukiweka top utaona hii top view, bottom view itakuwa almost the same, right? But what if I want to turn this box to see is it really a 3D? So ukija hapa, so hapa chini kuna hii imeandikwa orbit, pia kuna ka arrow fulani hapa. I will show you the rest of it. So orbit, so ukiklik hii orbit, then una press and hold the selection button kwenye mouse yako, manake left click, una hold alafu unatembeza kasa yako, so you can rotate it like this, so you can see it from all sides, right? So you see, yeah, this is really a 3D object, right? Yeah, hope you've captured that, then escape. Ukiona sasa unataka kurudi kwenye a certain view ambayo ni systematic view, unarudi tu hapa kwa sababu iko custom view, unarudisha labda southwest isometric like that, ama unaweza ukaishift ukaandika southeast, unaona ina flip like that, you see, southeast. Ama unaweza ukaiflip ikawa let's say northeast, ina flip like that, ama ukaangalia northwest na flip like that. So yeah, baada ya kuirotatisha kuizungusha zungusha na orbit, unaweza ukairudisha tu to a specific view from these view controls. Hope we are together on that. Okay, so we have drawn a box. You can draw as many features as possible just in the same drawing ground hapa, right? So another feature here is a cylinder. So that means it creates a 3D solid cylinder. So in this illustration, first you select the center and then you give it a radius for the base cycle now. And then you give it a height to get a 3D cylinder. So click on cylinder. It says here specify the center point. Unaweza ukachagua 3 points cycle. Maana ni aina ya cycle sasa. 2 point cycle, maybe you have 2 points tan radius cycle. So let's say it's a specify center. So this is the center. We are drawing the bottom cycle. So it says here, specify the base radius or diameter, just like the cycle. So let's just specify the radius. So let's say radius is 25, enter. And now it says specify the height. So unaweza ukaandika value ya height ama mwenyewe unaweza uka click pale ambapo unahisi ndio unapotaka height ifike. So let's say height here is 80 or 80, enter. Kama ningeandika minus 80, hii cylinder ingekuwa kwenda down, ingekuwa deeper, not to the top, ingekuwa to the bottom. So manake kwenye x plane, positive value inaenda along x direction, negative inaenda opposite to x direction. Then along y, positive value inaenda along y direction, negative value inaenda opposite to y direction. On the z value, positive value inaenda up, right? Negative value inaenda down. Get it? So kwa sababu x hapa inaenda to the right, manake negative x value inaenda to the left. Y value inaenda to the left, negative y value inaenda to the right. Z value inaenda up, negative z value inaenda down. Happy you've captured that. Okay, what's another object here? We have a cone. So click on a cone and then it says here specify the base of the cone. So let's say this is the base of the cone. It says specify the radius. After select the center, then radius. I'm going to click D for diameter. So radius, let's say 30 radius. And then you can position it up here or down there. So let me just click here. Okay. All right. So hizi ni object, hizi tu ni already 3D modeling options ambazo zimesha kuwa inbuilt kwenye hii AutoCAD kukusaidia kufanya rapid prototyping. What another object here? It's a sphere. So you can click sphere. It says select the center of the sphere. Let's say this is the center. It says the radius of the sphere. So let's say the radius is 30, enter. You know, a sphere has equal radius on either edges. So there you have your sphere. It's like a ball, right? All right. Another feature here, It's a pyramid, so you can rapidly create a pyramid. So click on pyramid. It tells you specify the center base point. So let's say this is the center base point, and say specify the radius, base radius. Let's say it's inscribed in a cycle base radius. It says 30. Enter. Then you can give it a height. All right, there. So you can rotate this and see these objects, right? You can rotate them. Yeah. Okay. Say southwest isometric. All right. What's one another object here? A wedge. So you can create a 3D solid wedge. So well, it's like a taper, and it's always in the positive x direction. So you select your base point, the two base point, and you give it a height. So select wedge. So let's say starting point. You can select the second point. You can select here L for length, right? Let's say length 10, 10, and then width, let's say 30, right? And then there you have your wedge like that. Okay. The final here is a torus. Torus inakuwaga kama donut shaped 3D solid, right? So you just select the first point and then the radius, and then you give it so first point here, let's say radius is 50, enter. Oh, that's too much. And then specify tube radius. Tube radius, let's say 10, enter. Yeah. Inakuwa kama ile tube ya baiskeli ama ile buoyancy ya kuogelea ile. Right? So these items unaweza ukaclick this item, uka right click, ukaibadilisha color, ukaenda kwenye properties, ukachange, ukasema bana this one is blue, right? Etc, etc. You can play with color as much as you want, right? Let me delete the rest of these objects. Select this object, select, and then delete button on the keyboard. Select, delete. Let me remain here with this sphere, right? So let me give it a red color. Properties. Let's say red, right? Close, escape. So I have a red sphere like that. Looks beautiful, right? Beautiful. So let's play with the views. So that was shaded with edges. Let's say hidden. That's how you will see a sphere in a hidden view. Let's say realistic. This is a more realistic sphere. Unaona hauoni edges, right? Tukika hapa southwest isometric view. Yeah, have a sphere like that. Unaweza ukasema shaded inakuwa hivyo pia, inakuwa almost same to realistic. Unaweza ukaifanya okay, sketchy, that's how it looks on sketchy. Unaweza ukaifanya x-ray, that's how it looks on sketch. X-ray, it looks like transparent. Let's say control P and PDF creator, let's preview. Yeah, you see this. It's like a transparent sphere, right? Okay, so let's say realistic right there, and let's create even a torus. Okay, so leave a torus. Let's say control P. Let's say PDF creator. Let's preview. Yeah, there you have your sphere, right? Yeah. Okay, there is another trick here I want to show you before we finish this up. So this is just a very quick overview of a 3D drawing. So you can make this object to free orbit, to rotate freely. So how do you do that? Unakuja hapa kwenye hii arrow chini ya orbit, unasema continuous orbit. Alafu unaipa starting motion. Ukipa motion to the top, itaanza kurotate to the top. Kwa mfano nikirotate hivi to the top. Nikiacha. Utaona hiyo object ina rotate. Kwa mfano nikihold, nikirotate again, let's say to the right, like to the left, let's say this way. It follows the way you rotate it. Escape. Kwa mfano kwa sababu hii hapa ni sphere, let me delete this and draw, let's say a torus like this. So let me go to southwest isometric here, torus here, let me say here, and then let's say there, right? And then let me give it a free orbit, let's say to the top, let's say this way. You see, that's a free orbit. I can hold it again and rotate. Let's see. Now the faster I rotate it, the faster it goes. Like if I rotate it like this slowly and I release it, it will start turning very slowly. So the speed of you turning it previously is the speed that will be followed, right? That will be obeyed to do a free orbit. So you can have like all around view of your component. So we can say, okay, let's rotate now this way, release it. See? Yeah. I hope you have captured plenty from this overview section, this overview lesson. Um, yeah, so on coming sessions, I will show you more of the modeling commands. Right now, we sketch, like instead of you using the built-in rapid prototyping, now we'll start creating our own 3D objects with a number of commands. There will be extrude, there will be what extrude. Let's see the command that we will have. So we will see extrude, we will see lofting, we will see revolving, sweeping, poly solids, and press pull. So that is what we'll see in our next lesson, right? So if you wanted to stop rotating, you can just come here and say orbit, and then here you can return escape. Here you can say, let's say southwest, like that. Like any, okay, before we finish, let's see the other view. So let's say you want to see the top view. Top, this is the top view of this donut. Even the bottom view will be the same. Bottom view, all right. Then let's say left, this is the left view of this donut. Right, this is the right view. You can see the front view. You can see the back, right, and then you can see the isometric. Oh yeah, yeah. So I hope you have learned a lot from this section. This session, I hope you have enjoyed the lesson, and yeah, I will see you in the next lesson. So keep moving forward, keep pushing forward. You're in the right direction, and I'll see you at the top. Ciao.